All the world knows of the tenacious gallantry of Johnny Gurkha, the wiry, courageous fighter from the hills. This is his country, Nepal, a strange and beautiful land to the north of India. The Gurkhas are self-reliant, loving freedom, not afraid to be alone with it. It is the Gurkhas' own country, governed by its own ruling house in alliance with the British Empire. The Gurkhas live hard and simply, close to the earth, working in their fields. Johnny Gurkha carries most of his goods on his own back, humping immense loads up the trails to his mountain home. So the Gurkha is a tough, muscular athlete, always in training. The Gurkha woman is as tough as her husband, a fit mother of the mountain clans whose young men become intrepid warriors of the Indian Army. The Gurkha and his kukri, a born fighter and his traditional weapon, both of them skilled in peace, swift and deadly in war. The Gurkha is usually a herdsman or a farmer, but some are craftsmen, clever, artistic men with nimble fingers. Right from his early childhood, Johnny Gurkha loves a party. His sense of fun and good humor are typified by the dancing, an essential part of every village gathering. Men dressed in national costume as male and female dancers provide the entertainment. But suddenly, the Gurkha becomes serious. A poster in the town of Kumradad says his freedom, his home, is threatened. This old soldier fought in France in the last war. He knows that his way of life is worth fighting for, must be fought for again. The great trek of Gurkhas and their families has begun. Fighting men from the hills are coming down to British India. Young men eager to join the distinguished regiments in which their fathers served before them. Down on the plains, the people of the hills converge. A broad flood moves toward the Gurkha recruiting depot in Kumradad. Johnny Gurkha will soon be in uniform, fighting beside his friends, the British Tommy and the Digger from Australia. The recruiting staff need the knowledge and tact of ambassadors. They must make everyone feel at home and among friends. Service in a Gurkha regiment carries a pension, a useful addition to many a hill family's income. Across the square, problems arising out of family matters are simply and efficiently dealt with. Documents of every pensioner and every serving man's dependents are maintained and kept up to date. A good soldier is one who has a happy, secure home behind him. Here's an old soldier drawing his pension. While the families are in Kumradad, they shop at the depot bazaar. Gleaming necklaces are a favorite purchase. The men visit the armorer. To the Gurkha, his rifle and his kukri are his most treasured possessions. The kukri serves its owner well when its edge is razor sharp. At the other end of the depot, would-be recruits, resting after their first interview, are chatting with the Gurkha NCO in charge of them. Finally comes the biggest moment in Johnny Gurkha's young life. He faces the examining officer. These Gurkha officers know how to size up a recruit with speed and accuracy. For over 100 years, the physical standard for the Gurkha soldier has been high and exacting. The class is chosen mainly from the two fighting castes, the Mogars and the Gorans. Average age, 17 to 23. Average height, 5 feet 2 inches. Health, perfect. There's no questioning the spirit of these young men. They're eager and proud of the Gurkha fighting tradition. Johnny faces the sternest test of all. He must pass the inspection of the recruiting officer or return to his village and the ridicule of his friends. Over 3/4 of the serving Gurkha troops have passed through the hands of the recruiting officer. he demands that each recruit meets the high physical standard of the regiment. He watches like a hawk for faults in muscular coordination and general intelligence. But Johnny Gurkha passes the most searching examination. There is joy in his heart. He knows he is about to start his career as a Gurkha soldier. At his regimental center, Johnny's army life begins. He is shown around by his new officers. The forging of the bond of sympathy and understanding between officer and man has begun. Look, Johnny, the parade ground. That's where you're going to be tomorrow, with the other lads who came down with you from the hills. You'll soon know this parade ground like the sights of your rifle. Day after day you'll be out there, drilling, marching, working, sometimes wondering why you ever wanted to join the army. But when your training is over, you'll be as proud as your father was to be a Gurkha soldier. Johnny's British officers are with him every minute of these early stages. Tactfully, they correct his faults, continuing to build up that confidence which Johnny must have in his officers, which they must have in Johnny. These exercises are just the thing he needs to make full use of his splendid muscular physique. Now Johnny Gurkha looks more like a soldier. He may feel a bit clumsy in those husky new boots, and the muscles loosened by PT now have to conform to the movements of the parade ground. Drill is the basis of all military discipline. He must go through it all, and the experience of years is there to help him. His Gurkha officer shows him what to do and sees that he does it properly. If Johnny's going to get those corporal stripes he dreams of, he'll have to keep at it, practicing until he becomes skillful. He'll go on doing it until he gets it right each time. Hard work, lots of hard work, is beginning to show results. When he's done this a few times, he won't forget to move quickly. Here is Johnny Gurkha, the soldier. Weeks of patience, perseverance, work, and more work have produced the fighting man. His Majesty the King is proud to honor the heroes of the Gurkhas. The Viceroy of India has paid similar tribute to the gallantry of these warriors from the hills. In the newest phase of war, the airborne attack, the Gurkha is in the thick of it. His courage and his daring have earned for him the respect of his allies, the fear of his enemies. In war, resolute, alert, scorning danger, he is fighting to preserve the freedom of his heritage and his home. Today, in the war of the jungle, great names are appearing among the battle honors of the Gurkha regiments. Now, from the skies, they bring with them a new terror to the enemy. The storm clouds roll toward Japan. The swift, deadly lightning of that storm, with his kukri, his rifle, and his unconquerable heart, is the magnificent fighter from the hills of Nepal, Johnny Gurkha.